Hi world, it's the 2nd of April 2024. It's about 1:15 p.m. in the afternoon UK time. And this video is on the ongoing Mercury retrograde. Mercury started going retrograde yesterday evening around about 10 p.m. UK time. So that's about 15 hours ago from the moment I record this. And it's going to stay retrograde until the 25th of April, around about 2 p.m. UK time. That doesn't mean that Mercury's just retrograde during this period. There's a thing called the Mercury retrograde shadow, and there's two of them, one before the retrograde, one after. Mercury entered its retrograde shadow, which means it entered the period which it will go forward over, backwards over, and then forward again around about the 19th of March. It went retrograde on the 1st of April. It will stop going retrograde on the 25th of April, and it will clear its retrograde shadow around about the 14th, 15th of May. So the actual whole period of this Mercury retrograde, including the shadows, is the 15th of March to the 15th of May. But it is the 1st to the 25th of April where it's properly retrograde. By retrograde, I mean that because it's an inner planet, it is the other side of the sun from the earth, and we can't see it moving backwards because the sun's in the way. If we could see it, we would see it moving backwards against the backdrop of the stars behind it. This is termed retrograde motion. When a planet is retrograde, at an individual level, its lessons are to be learnt more internally rather than externally. The effects of it will not be manifested so much in terms of events, circumstances, as more internal hindrances or blockages. And with Mercury, of course, being the planet of movement and communication, Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. So it moves round the sun faster than any other planet. This is why it's the fast-winged messenger of the gods. Hermes in the Greek, Mercury in the Roman. I'm going to sneeze in a minute, so excuse me if I do that. Right? Mercury is the way you read, write, think, speak and move. It's to do with your intellect, your communication with yourself and your thoughts. It's to do with your speech and your texting and your emailing, your communication with other. And it's to do with the communication you have with the world through socializing, traveling and partying. And when Mercury is retrograde, it's a long-held concept going back a few hundred years that when Mercury is retrograde, emails get delayed, buses or trains are delayed, there's communication breakdowns in some shape or form. People will look at you and they will hear you, but they won't be listening. They'll see the words coming out of your mouth, but they won't comprehend. There can be misunderstanding, miscommunications. This is a general rule of thumb for Mercury retrograde. At the personal level, this Mercury retrograde, it's happening between 15, 16 degrees of Aries and 27 degrees of Aries. So this is affecting everyone born in the second half of Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn. So with Aries, it's affecting everybody born from, say, the 4th, 5th, 6th of April onwards. With Cancer, it's affecting everybody born from about the 6th, 7th of July onwards. With Libra, again, about the 5th, 6th, 7th of October onwards. And with Capricorn, the 4th, 5th, 6th of January onwards. It's affecting everybody, of course, but these are the people it's going to have a more dramatic effect on, particularly those people born in the second half of Aries and the second half of Libra. The fact that this Mercury retrograde is happening in Aries, it's not directly impacting on any of the other planets in the sky. It's not during its retrograde travels going to be making seriously strong aspect to Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Neither will it be making a major aspect to Mars. it will be making a major aspect to Venus, but that's something that happens during every Mercury retrograde, so it's no big deal. And of course it will make 3 conjunctions to the Sun during this retrograde process, forward, backward, forward. So in terms of aspects to other planets, it's not a big deal. And in terms of its placing being in the latter half of Aries, compare that to what else is going on in the sky, again, it's not a big deal. But when you compare the fact that Mercury is retrograde while so many other things are going on, the total eclipse of the Sun, conjunct Chiron, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus, and all the stuff that Mars is doing, then it's going to create an environment during May where there's going to be lots of different things happening all at once. During April. There's lots of things happening all at once. People are going to be being pulled all over the place. There's lots of different types of stimuli coming in, some positive, some challenging. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be making a crisis out of what is merely a drama. And with Mercury retrograde, there's not going to be the clarity of information, knowledge, or data to be able to make clear, objective, detached and impersonal decisions. So the hardest thing over this coming month for most individuals with this Mercury retrograde is going to be the realization that they don't have enough certainty or knowledge about what's going on to be able to make permanent long-term choices based on what they know at this time. So don't change course. Whatever you're doing now, April's going to shake it up and down, but don't make major changes, because if you do, there is a chance they may work very positively, a 10 to 15% chance. It's much more likely that they won't work out as well as you expect. And yet for many people it's going to be like, oh my God, this isn't working right, we've got to make big changes and we've got to do it now. And that to me is the headless chicken approach. There's a lot of Aries energy around. Mercury is retrograde in Aries all month. Venus is going to move into Aries any day now for the rest of the month. The eclipse is in Aries. The thing about Aries is that actions speak louder than words. In the background, Mars is going to move into Aries at the very end of this month, on the last day of this month. Actions speak louder than words, yes. And it could be very easy to jump in head first and take spontaneous, immediate and perhaps rash actions or decisions. Don't. You would be self-sabotaging. Let other people do that if they want, those who aren't astrologically aware. But if you know your astrology, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking at your own personal chart. You're going to be looking at the second half of Aries in your horoscope, and you're going to be seeing which house it's in. And then if you're sensible, you're going to be deliberately choosing not to take any precipitate or rash action in that area. This is not a time for major changes, of course. It is not a time for spontaneity or radical choices. The die is cast for many people now. Situations have evolved over recent months and last couple of years to this point where now there are big actions underway. There are things about to change, and it is too late to change course. We have to let things play out now over the next 3 weeks. The cat is out of the bag for me personally. As some of you know now, I am going to be doing a live stream on YouTube with Rick Levine. Someone said yesterday 2 volcanoes coming together. I thought that was a great comment. So I don't quite know. We haven't quite worked out the day yet, but it's going to be soon, within the next 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, and we will both be letting you know via newsletters or on our channels. I have no idea how the technology is going to work yet, but I have faith it will. There's a little secret here that I'm going to let you into. Mercury retrograde affects everybody. No excuses. But astrologers and astrological students and those that know their astrology can work with it. And as with everything astrological, the planets impel, they don't compel. And if you're aware of your astrology, And if you're aware of which area of your personal chart this Mercury retrograde is taking place in, you can bend the rules without breaking them. Mercury retrograde in this particular case, you can be flexible and you can bend, but don't snap, and don't make major changes, of course. Catch you later, world. Bye.